Welcome viewers, I'm your host Molo Collins, and of course this is Sporting TV, your number one leading sports channel. And on set today we have Major Don. Major Don is upon it. Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, OG Kolo himself, for another opportunity to provide positive criticisms, as you say. I'm here for the best.
Here for the best.
That, yeah. Sure.
Here for the best, of course. Before we get right to it, remember to view, like, subscribe, and share, and also drop a comment on the comment section down below. And we're 1,000 subscribers, so hit that subscription button, and remember to also hit that bell so that you'll be among the first ones to be notified when we drop a new video. So, Major Don.
Yes.
Arsenal versus Manchester City, a very difficult game. Your thoughts on that match, Major Don?
Nobody successful has ever prevailed without difficulties or challenges. And this is the spirit of champions, winning. Because if it was easy, then everybody will do it. And that's the reason why it's only a few people right now. Mathematically, it's only Man City or Arsenal that can win. If you had told the world the same narrative last season, just a few months ago, that Arsenal will be a title contender this season, people will tell you that's a fallacy. People will laugh you off. People will write you off. We look at pundits who predicted the end of this season in the beginning. All the famous pundits, no one of them predicted Arsenal will even finish top 3. But who are we? Shockers, you can call us.
So far, Arsenal is still perched at the summit of that log. 70 points are followed by Man City with Arsenal has 75 points, followed by Manchester City, which has 70 points. Arsenal having played 2 more matches, now giving Manchester City the advantage of 2 matches. Major Don, what do you think of these 2 games at hand for Manchester City? Do you think that they will have an impact going forward?
I think, as a learned friend of mine, you're familiar with the proverbial English saying that says 2 birds or a bird at hand is worth more than 2 in the forest or 1,000 in the sky. It's not about how many you've not played, it's about how many points have you racked up so far in the matches you've played. A few months ago, Arsenal also was boosting some 2 matches at hand that we have not played.
Yeah.
And when we played those 2 matches at hand, we drew both of them. So the advantage we were counting on ourselves, like we have 2 matches at hand we've not played, so yeah, it's like we are even more better. It's nothing worth if you don't have the points at hand. That's just an imaginary game you've not played. In a football match, anything happens. So for me, the 2 games at hand is not a scare, because again, one of those 2 matches at hand is against the title leaders, Arsenal themselves. We are not there by luck. We are there because we deserved it. We've worked hard to be there. I mean, so far we've only lost 3 matches the whole season. Against Manchester City themselves, Manchester United, and Everton, a slip-up. All these 3 that were issued referee issues in between, that's why we lost. But so far, Arteta has done a super good job, commendable job. So it's nothing worth giving a fear that, the 2 matches at hand with Man City gives us a fear. My friend, we are here for the war. That's why we are leading the table so far. So we are fighting to the end. The 2 matches, it's not worth it. 1, it's against us. So it's an advantage to us, not even to them. If those 2 matches were against the bottom teams or the ones down there, then that would be a scare, because it's something we cannot control. But we have one of those matches against us, we can control the outcome of that. So it's an advantage to us more than them.
So, Major Don, we saw that the last 3 matches that Arsenal played, that was the match against Liverpool. Arsenal drew 2-2. Also against West Ham they drew, and just recently against Southampton they also drew. These were very crucial matches for Arsenal. So where do you think that the rain started beating Arsenal? Because before they met Liverpool, everything was rosy, and somehow Emirates was turning out to be a fortress. But somehow in between some things did not just work out for Arsenal, and they drew 3 consecutive matches, giving Man City the chance to make a catch-up with Arsenal. Your thoughts on this, Major Don?
If you're raising a child, and then during the rest of the life of this child, the child does super well, and then one night the child happens to fall in the rains, to be rained on, people will not praise you for the rest of the years you raised this child candidly and carefully without any coerces. People will talk about this one time that the parent left the kid to be rained on. So it is a common thing. Whatever you're saying right now is very normal for me. You're not looking at the positivity of those 3 draws. They are not losses. That was the worst that could have happened. They are not losses, they are draws. That is how a champion works. During the invisible season when Arsenal won the league with the Invisibles, they had 11 draws.
2-3-2-4 season.
Yes, we hit 11 draws. How many draws do we have so far? They're much fewer than that. It means we are winning more games. We are doing way better than that. So this is just to tell you, even those draws like the Southampton, we scored 2 goals past 85th minute. That's the spirit of a champion. Man, that is what we should be talking about right now. It's not about when the rain started beating us. There's no rain that has beaten us. No. It is us who have managed to wither through the storms, however hard they have come in. So this is a positive angle I'm trying to look at rather than the negative one you are trying to instill. There's no rains here. It is Arsenal. If you should be, in fact, you should be telling me when, you should be asking me, when did Arsenal start being this strong to a point that they win matches even to the last minute? They push even for that 1 point to the last minute.
Major Don, you are scoring as many goals as much as you are receiving also goals
of late. Though we still have a higher goal difference.
Going by the last 3 matches, because
sure.
It has been a free scoring and also you are conceding goals. But where is it not working for Arsenal? Is it that the forward line should score more, or the defense should try to tighten that defense?
It's just a little bit of concentration and communication between the defenders and the midfielders, because people are attributing the too much committing of goals to the lack of Saliba behind there. Of course, that's a fact that we have to accept, that Saliba has been super good for the better part of the season. So the moment we lack him behind there was a way they used to communicate with Gabriel and they would do super good. But again, you cannot overlook the whole positivity Rob Holding has brought in by stepping in place of Saliba. So we have a little bit of lapse there between the 2 of them. That's why we've conceded 2 or 3 sloppy goals. We've tried to build balls from behind there, and then we have 1-2 missed passes, and then we end up conceding. So it's something that Arteta just needs to work in to knit up the defense a little bit, so that we reduce the losses, so that we can support the offensive players. Because so far we have the best attacking team in the league. We have the best attacking team in the league. Because look at the top scorers in the log. Look at the top 10. Man City only has 1, because clearly it's depending on 1 man.
Haaland.
We all know him. Arsenal has 3 guys up there, all of them doing way better. We have Martinelli there, we have Saka there at 10, Martinelli at 12, we have our captain Odegaard doing the same thing, assisting and scoring. Saka doing the same thing, assisting and scoring. Martinelli the same thing, assisting and scoring. I mean, we, in terms of attacking, we're super good. Just the last few days, our numbers have not been telling enough, because we are conceding a little bit as much as we are scoring. So it's just to knit up the defense a little bit, and we are good to go. And again, this Rob Holding is the one who played against Man City last season when we won. We beat Man City last season during the FA for us to win that cup, and it was a big tie. And we beat them 3-1. And it was this Rob Holding in the midfield, in the defense, and he was able to silence Erling Haaland for the better part of the match. So it's not something new, it's something we can really do. We don't want to say that we lose it because we don't have William Saliba. You don't tell us that Waswahili wanasema kuvunjika kwa mwiko sio mwisho wa kupika ugali. There's always other options. And as a champion, as a title contender, you always have a backup idea. You always must have a contingency plan, we call it so. So we've got it at hand. The defensive, you've pointed, the leaking, yes, it's true, we are conceding a little bit more goals. It's just a little bit of knitting up, but we shall fight to the end.
So now let's shift our attention to this Manchester City records. We've seen that Manchester City have won their last 5 fixtures that they played against Arsenal. Do you think now, this time round, there will be any changes? Because Pep is facing a very different Arsenal side, and also on the other side, Arteta is facing a very informed Manchester City of late. And just to mention, in the Champions League, they are in the semi-finals of that competition. Now, Major Don, do you think that this fixture has an impact for both teams going forward? Because some are pitting this match between Arsenal and Manchester City as the title decider. So will it be over after this fixture?
Over to who?
Will the title to whoever wins or to whoever loses the match?
Of course, it's significant. The match is significant. I cannot say it's over because after this we still have some other games to play.
Yeah.
We are supposed to play 38 matches, so far Arsenal has played 32. If we play this, it will be the 33rd match. So we still have 5 more matches to play. So I cannot rule it over. If Man City plays this one, it will be their 31st match. They still have 7 games to go. So it cannot yet be over. Anything can happen between those 5 or 7 matches remaining, with only a distance of 1 or 2 or 3 points between us, depending on the outcome of the match. But again, you've pointed out the whole idea of the head-to-head scores that we've had. Yeah. We've played against them, the 6 matches we've played against them in the league, they have been winning, but not with a clean sheet. But we still have the positivity that we beat in the FA. They had a very strong squad in the FA, and we beat them as we marched on towards the finals. So it's not something to terrify us that beating Man City is impossible. Out of the 6 matches, ties we've played with them and they have won, only 2 of them they have won with clean sheet. It means with that squad we used to have behind them facing them, which was so leaky, we still could manage to score so that we don't have a clean sheet. They don't get a clean sheet. Now imagine this team that we have right now that is having free flow football, scoring from all angles. You're playing with Jesus, Saka, Martinelli on the field, while your backup at the bench is something also to admire. You have Trossard coming in and firing from all angles. You have Niles coming, Reis Nelson coming in and firing from all angles. You have good players like Vieira, Fabio Vieira coming in to boost you again in attacking football. You have Nketiah, who has done great when Jesus was injured. So you can be rest assured there is no strong point here for Man City, as people are trying to presume that Man City is going to easily win the match. It's not going to be an easy win or an easy lose. It's a fight between 2 strong teams. Man City is a strong team, I can say. But again, they also have their factors to put in place. These guys have Champions League matches. And trust me, though, even if it was me, Arsenal, right now, I'm having facing the opportunity of lifting both the Champions League and the league. I'll prioritize the Champions League because it's got some added weight on it. It's considered a bigger cup than the league. And then putting in fact in place that Man City has also won the league a number of times before. It is so adamant and obvious to somebody like Pep Guardiola that his focus will be in Champions League, not more the Premier League than the Champions League. So those fixtures as well, he has the Champions League, he has the FA, he has the league. They will, of course, they will play part in it because he's got also players in fatigue and needed to play both these 2 tournaments. So we are hoping that Arsenal can also take this to their advantage and do something. You know, give us a result that I know right now it's Arsenal against the world. Because we have more enemies, more foes than friends, you know. So we understand this and we're going to fight for it. You can be rest assured. It's lots of factors in place to determine the outcome of the match.
Yeah, so far so good, viewers, for both Arsenal and Manchester City. And before we move on, I would just like to give you this fact between Arsenal playing against Man City and Arsenal against Man City. Arsenal has 98 wins, 45 draws and 64 losses. By all standards, it means that Arsenal has a bigger chunk of success against Manchester City. Now, Don, before we move on, I would just like to get the fixtures of these two teams, their remaining fixtures, and we see that Arsenal has Manchester City, the game that we are currently doing a punditry about, and they also have Newcastle United, and they have Brighton, Nottingham Forest, and they have Wolverhampton. Manchester City, on the other hand, has Leicester, they have Fulham, they have Leeds, they have Everton, and they have Chelsea, and finally they have Brighton. Between the two teams, Major Don, Arsenal and City, who has the remaining fixtures? Who do you think has weaker teams to contend with between Arsenal and Manchester City?
If I add to
Going by the fixtures.
If I add to that fixture, viewers, the whole idea that Man City also has to face Real Madrid in the Champions League. It also has to face Manchester United in the FA Cup finals, and we don't know if Manchester City has to, if they happen to go through in the Champions League to the next level, then even bigger oppositions. Then it means Arsenal has a swifter way of getting the league than Man City, because it has more heavy matches. And again, I am not talking in Premier League right now. You cannot point out small or big teams. We've seen wonders. We've seen small teams shocking people and doing great things. Because what you're trying to look at right now is how many top teams that are going to face Arsenal and how many are going to face Manchester City. Man City has Chelsea that is looking at it. Manchester City, Chelsea that is trying to revamp itself. They also have Fulham, which has been doing good. It kills draws with big teams. We've seen them doing quite great. Arsenal, the same thing. We have Newcastle, which is a competitive game, but we've proved before. We've beaten Manchester United during this day. We've beaten Chelsea home and away. We've beaten Tottenham home and away. We've beaten Brentford home and away. Brentford that beat Manchester United and drew with Manchester City. So there's no big team to Arsenal. Brighton will beaten in 3 goals first leg. Brighton beat Manchester City and Manchester United first leg. So there's nothing there to be surprised about. You can point out clearly that Arsenal has, bigger chunk to climb than Man City has. What you're basing at right now is history, because we've seen Manchester City winning games easily before, but we've seen the contrary this season. Man City lost at Southampton after Southampton being beaten the other match, and Southampton being at the bottom of the log. They still went at Man City and held them at a draw and won there, and they also went and won at Liverpool, Southampton. So it's nothing to say. I think it will be wrong to say that this has smaller teams, this one has big teams. The league right now is very competitive. Nobody knows. Nobody knew Arsenal would draw against West Ham, Southampton and Liverpool at such a moment when it was so deciding after beating big teams before. So anything can happen. The fixture might be telling you the opposite. So wait for the results. Again, as I told you, a bird in hand is worth more than 1,000 in the forest.
Now, Mr. Don, Arsenal is missing a very crucial player, and you mentioned it when we started the show earlier. But the other crucial player who Arteta is not sure of him starting this crucial match is Granit Xhaka. Do you think that Xhaka and now Saliba not being in the fold for Arsenal to be called upon, do you think that will affect Arsenal, considering that this is a very crucial match for both teams? And also on the other side, Manchester City has a fit squad for Pep to pick from his pool of players. Do you think that this will affect Arsenal?
We are not, you said very well that we are not certain that Xhaka will miss the match, even though he's also a crucial player per se, because he's played almost all the Premier League matches we've played this season. So far he's played like all of them, almost all of them, if I'm not wrong. Granit Xhaka is not, we are not 100% sure if he will miss or not. If he is there, well and good, but if he misses, we've got a plethora of options in the bench. We have Jorginho, who used to step in for Xhaka, for Partey when Partey was injured.
Yeah.
There's a way the league, starting lineup can just be twisted. We play the midfield with Thomas Partey, Jorginho and Zinchenko. And then we have Tierney coming to fill in back here where Zinchenko used to play. So we have Zinchenko, who is a super good midfielder, we all know that. He plays a very good position there at midfield. And then we fill in with these three. And then at the rest at the front we have Odegaard and then our three guys there. So there are so many ways and so many options at Arteta's disposal that he can use to just twist and fix in that position you're saying for Xhaka. Right now, Arsenal, we have so many utility players. We don't have somebody's permanent number. Even if we lose this player, we still have options on the bench. So it is not going to be a shock. Even if he misses, Xhaka misses, I'm 100% sure. If Nketiah filled in for Jesus and we won big matches like Manchester United, we were able to beat Manchester United and Nketiah was able to score at the last minute a karate kick goal. And De Gea being a world-class goalkeeper will not pick. So we have options. It's just a self-belief that yes, you can do it. So you have options in the bench. That will not be a scare for us. It's something that we have to face head-on without the fear or the quiver that, you know, we are going to lose. You know, those callous voices are the ones that make you lose. If you believe in reality with what people are saying, totality, you'll lose it. But if you go in with the spirit Arsenal has gone in with, we have the squad that is the youngest in the Premier League, in average of ages. The youngest. It means you're going to dominate this league for quite a long time with these players as they keep on growing and being better. So it's something to look upon. Both teams are strong and doing well. So it's going to be a great match and encounter. So I can tell you, and to my fellow Arsenal fans out there, don't listen to those callous voices you're being told outside there. You know you're going to lose, you guys are weak and stuff. My friend, if it was weak and easy, then even Manchester United would be title contenders, as they were saying, and Chelsea and Tottenham. And mark you, take this to the bank. There are high chances Manchester United and his brothers Chelsea and Tottenham might not play in the Champions League this season. We've made it. So whether Arteta even wins the league or not, there's a very big thumbs up to this coach. So far what Arteta has done is super great. We've only lost 3 matches the whole season. It's something that was not common. So hey, you Gunners outside there, Bana, colleague, strong, we are going for it, Gunners. This is ours. It is what it is.
Well, it's going to be a very explosive match by all standard, considering that both Manchester City and Arsenal are neck to neck in this title race. The two protagonists, that is Arsenal and Speed, and keeping tabs on this match, Arsenal and Manchester City. As we bring this to a close, as Swahili saying goes, asiyekubali kushindwa si mshindani. May the best team win between Arsenal Sporting Team. I'm your host, Collins Opio. View, like, subscribe, and share. Sarah for us. Bye-bye for now.
Thank you.